Alright, what's poppin'? This one's called Faith and Faith's Future. Humanity and religion are inseparable. Every man-made institution has to do with religion and religious mindsets. Belief in a greater cause is one of the greatest motivators a species can have, and we are full of it. Unfortunately, there are many people and cultures that view religion as something for humans to evolve past. Even the religious can fall victim to a tribal mindset and hate those who are of a different identity. If only they knew the bigger picture that religion plays in humanity and in each of us, not just as an identity, but as hope and faith to carry on to a greater life. Religion has been around since the birth of the human species. It is one of the few things that separate us from the beasts. Anthropologist Harvey Whitehouse developed a theory about the fundamentals of religion in 1980 on a trip to Papua New Guinea. Quote, he developed a theory of religion based on the power of rituals to create social bonds and group identity, end quote. The experiences and the emotions that one encounters in religious activities dig deep into the mind. Naturally, society would continue these experiences because societies with them thrived. Quote, faiths that were shared by large groups of people actually provided stability in cities. These religions were accepted by thousands of followers because they appealed to many different people from all social classes and occupations. If the text and tenets of these faiths spoke to such a wide variety of people, then their religious beliefs were more likely to spread along trade routes, unlike the earlier village-based religions, end quote. Religion played a game of survival of the fittest and evolved over time. Religion as a whole has had a great positive effect on people, not just in the past, but in the modern world. Quote, studies of subjects in different settings, from different ethnic backgrounds and different age groups and in different locations, find that religious involvement is related to better coping with stress and less depression, suicide, anxiety, and substance abuse, end quote. Religion is a positive influence on society and the individual. Quote, religious coping should be regarded as an advantageous tool in recovery that is free, accessible, and effective. The latter is especially significant for the disadvantaged, including unmarried mothers and their children, end quote. Our species has evolved religion as a useful tool to build successful societies, morals, and mindsets, which should be encouraged even in the modern world. Christianity is the most influential religion in the Western world, and maybe all of human history. A large reason for this is the overall good that leaders inspire in their followers, along with the range of interpretations it provides. Christianity, unlike other religions, is more of a metaphorical one. This is caused by its founders' use of figurative language. Jesus spoke in metaphorical parables, and quote, Paul Ricoeur has noted that metaphors have a surplus of meaning. They don't just say one thing that can be put into other words. Instead, they offer a kind of overflow of additional suggestions and nuances. You haven't completely understood a metaphor by saying that it can be substituted for one statement and one statement only, end quote. Jesus' teachings tell a way to be a good person and find inner peace in a world where sorrow is everywhere. One problem modern Christianity faces has to do with the mass schism we see in interpretations. Normally, many interpretations would be a good thing. It's more that we get out of the Bible. Unfortunately, our human desires have led us to a tribalistic mindset, hating those who are different from us. The greatest strength of religion, creating communities, has created its greatest fault. Quote, true religion, i.e. Christianity, which spurns the notion of an eye for an eye, is always the bringer of peace. The absence of such peace is usually the absence of true religion, end quote. Christianity has lost its main purpose to the masses and is suffering because of it. Christianity isn't the only religion that is suffering. While it may seem like a religion for hippies and full of psychedelics, Eastern religions like Hinduism seek to create a better life for the believer and the society around them. Two key parts of Hinduism are karma and reincarnation. Quote, karma meant that whatever a person did in this life would determine what he or she would be in the next life. Thus, reincarnation creates a cycle of birth, life, and death, and rebirth. The cycle ends only when a person realizes that his or her soul and God's soul are one, end quote. What it means to realize that the believer's soul and God's soul are one is to make the realization that we are nothing and everything. Humans, along with all life, are the universe itself being sentient and aware of itself. Once a person is humbled and fully aware of their existence, they find peace. Like many aspects of Christianity, Hinduism's reincarnation can be used as a metaphor for repeatedly making the same mistakes and suffering. Life is full of suffering, but once we let go of our ego and understand our place in the universe, we find peace. Unfortunately, the modern Eastern world doesn't view religion as a positive, but as a backward lie that humans must move past to progress. Quote, religion and spirituality have been deeply embedded in Chinese culture and identity for millennia. Under Mao Zedong, the Communist Party took extreme measures to stamp out religion. End quote. Man's ego and want for perfection, personified in communism, took hold and religion had no place. As time went on, the Communist Party, quote, favored a more regulatory approach, seeking to manage religion, harness its influence to achieve other party goals, and suppress any threat that it may present to the party's authority, end quote. Even when religion was allowed, the government completely missed the point of religion and used it to further empower their earthly desires. Those with mass power and idealistic dreams often think they can rise above man in some way and create a perfectly functioning and orderly world. What they lack to see is that perfection is imperfection, and imperfection is perfection. The experience that religion offers is amazing and uniquely human. Why on earth would we want to get rid of it? Man as a whole needs to come together and learn our small place in the universe, and how the best we can do is find inner peace and pursue kindness on our rock floating in a void. That is what religion's full potential offers. Now the essay ends right there, and it doesn't really give a full description on how we can make it better. It's very vague, but there wasn't really a way to end it, because where we're at in the essay is where we are in the modern world, right? I've talked about the past, the religion. I've talked about what recently has been happening with Christianity and Hinduism. And we really don't know what's going to happen next, especially with all this Apple stuff coming out with that headset. I mean, we might have an entirely different future in 10 years than what we have now, I mean, the world's changing so fast, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of scared for it. But all we can do is go along with the ride and hope that it gets better. The whole message is real cheesy, but that's all I got. So you can finish watching the gameplay. I'll see you later.